What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Future Fight. So I told you I would jump on this one really quickly so that way I could tell you how to spend your money. Nah, I ain't trying to do that. I'm trying to tell you what is of value, what isn't of value, so that way you could pass or skip. I'm gonna go past the uniforms for now just because I think that there's a little bit of question, especially with the timeline on these survival ones over here. I already started getting to some of them, and I told you the starter pack for agents is actually a really good value because you're basically purchasing the crystals and you're getting a 6-star character, premium selector character. So if you don't have any of these characters at premium, this is a good price for you to just jump in and get those characters as 6-star selector. Not to mention that these basically also have a tier 2 mega advancement ticket. So you essentially have a way to just basically get a premium character all the way to tier 2 for $10. It means just the price of crystals. And that means that right now, if you crystal deficient, you could basically purchase this, get the crystals, buy another the uniform, and then also get a premium character out of the deal. So the starter pack for agents, chef's kiss, loving it. Heroes jump up to level 70, 2200 crystals, and you get the first potential realization ticket, the level 6 advancement potential, and 1,000,000 gold. Now the good thing about this, again, like I said, the crystal value is there. $19.99, you're getting 2200 crystals. Basically equate the game for every dollar, you're basically getting 100 crystals. So this is a little bit extra crystals, and then you're getting the potential realization ticket and the level 6 advanced potential enhancement for the free inside the shop. This also comes into trying to account for your materials that you have inside your inventory and what you would need to pay and the time that you need to have in order to first realize the potential of a character, and then also get that potential advance. So it's to skip level 62, 63, 64, and all of those just by getting it all the way to level 70. So this is actually a pretty good sale inside the shop. No problem with that one at all. Shortcut to tier 3. This is where we start to see a little bit of fall off because you're basically buying 2200 crystals, and so you're basically a little like $7 value inside of here that you're basically equating to a tier 3 mega advancement ticket. So you can instantly raise a tier 2 character to tier 3. Doesn't have to be level 70, it just has to be a tier 2 character. So a level 60 tier 2 character you can immediate raise to tier 3. So for instance, Sister Grimm is on the table right now, right? You could potentially conceivably just say, I've got Sister Grimm at level 60 tier 2. Do I want to level up Sister Grimm to tier 3 and I will just make it happen, and is this going to be worth it? So this is where it starts to get into your pocket and you determine how that is. The tier 3 mega advancement tickets there. This doesn't normally work on any type of native tier 2 character, so don't think about using it on Doctor Strange if you only have him at level 60 or something like that. That's not how that's going to work for you. So the shortcuts to Transcendence works the same way. It's up to you, value there in terms of that. I would say that most people, this is where the value starts to fall off inside the shortcut to tier 3 and the shortcut to Transcendence, especially because it's mostly for free to play characters, easier to build up those characters depending on your resources. Next up, we get up to the comic card select chance. Now, inside here for the premium comic cards, you have all of the premium comic cards available to you. 3,300 crystals is what you're basically purchasing, so that's about $33. So the weight of this premium comic selector is the difference there, and about $16 that you're looking at is the weighted value against getting one of these cards. So if you were to take this over to like the Dimension shop, for instance, and you were to look at the Dimension shop and say, I want to do a pull on the comic cards, right? So let's go into the store real quick, and so that way you can see what I'm saying, so that way it doesn't like confuse you in any way, shape, or form. So if I wanted to come over here and I wanted to pull a comic card chest, and I say, okay, well, $675 crystals is what I'm going to need to do to make a pull on the comic card chest. That's where we get into, right? It's going to be like, okay, like, do you want to pull on these? Because it could cost you as much as 6,750 crystals to get a premium card, and it might not be the card that you want. So you're basically looking at almost $67-70 basically to make a pull and finally get a card that may or may not be the card that you want, where you can almost guarantee that card for $16. So it's like a fraction of the cost there. So it's going to be one of those things where you have to basically look at that and say, what's the value? Do you really want that card? Is it like a card that's going to, you know, that you need in order to complete your set? The great thing about comic cards is that comic cards have a benefit across your entire roster. So investing in comic cards is never a bad thing inside this game because, like I said, they apply across your roster, especially getting a premium card. So to me, depending on where your comic cards stand, not a bad deal at all. CTP select chance. Do you need CTPs? Do you need CTPs? Do you play CTP? Do you play... notice the CTP of Conquest is not in there. A lot of the CTP values too, they've kind of fallen off in a major way. Like, you still have obviously relevancy for like greed, for insight, for judgment, rage, and energy. Probably I would probably say like the rest of them have somewhat fallen off, even rage to some degree. I think some people will tell you, but yeah, so these five are pretty much where it's at. The CTP of Regen, I've seen conversations about like it used to be a really good CTP, probably not so much now unless you have it like brilliant or mighty. So got to play around with that one there, but even then probably still like better options there inside there. So but basically $49.99 for 3,300 crystals. And then the CTP is basically weight, and you run the same thing as the comic cards for the $67-70 in terms of purchase value. Now, where this one falls off in terms of difference for me, however, is that this only applies to one individual character. So it's not like you're purchasing this and it's gonna like you get the bang for your buck that you would as if for the comic cards. So right around here is where I'm starting to fall off. I'm like, I'm not really willing to purchase this unless I need the crystals. And then, you know, I get the CTP selector in there for $16 extra. But this is where it starts to fall off for me, where I'm like, I don't see the value necessarily there, right? Then we get the uniform pack for agents at $19.99. You basically get 1,100 crystals, right? So pay attention. Then they came up with this nice new idea for uniform tickets. So it was a way for you to just get uniform tickets inside the game. So, and these were basically able to be used to purchase inside the shop. So for instance, like right now, right? You've got Doctor Strange, you've got Dr. Voodoo, you got Sister Grimm. There's 3 uniforms inside the shop, right? That you need to purchase. Do you not have the crystals? If you don't, then this is a great way to get to purchase all 3 uniforms, because you get the two uniform tickets and then 1,100 crystals. Use 2 uniform tickets to purchase 2 uniforms, and then the crystals to purchase the 3rd. And on top of that, you get some uniform upgrade kits. This is probably not going to be enough to really do much about anything. And you get 35 of the uniform XP chips and a million gold. So I think that this one is a good purchase if you are defunct, or you just like, hey, you know, I don't really want to spend my crystals. I want to hold on to some of my crystals and I want to get after these. Not a bad deal at all, in my opinion. Now we get the comic card pack for agents. So even though this one says that it's $4.99 and you're going to get the 550 crystals, these are some of the best non-premium cards in the game. Matter of fact, like, I think at one point I was rocking these cards in the game so that way I could get the benefits from them. The problem is that you're going to quickly eclipse these cards the moment you start collecting any amount of premium comic cards. And these will lose value really quickly. So it's a good thing that you're basically getting 550 crystals for it, but there's no value, in my opinion, in these cards anymore. You seem to be able to get a lot of premium comic cards right away, and these are going to lose their value really quickly. So just think about this one in terms of just the crystals. That's what you're getting there. So that's my thought about the time attack special items. Let's go over here and take a look inside the store, specifically for the items that they have inside here. So you're going to be able to find all of those additional items, and they're seeming to have a lot of pop-ups for you. So over here, we get the Midnight Suns team up pack, which is available to you. So notice that you can get the collection tokens for the Midnight Suns, right? What does this enable you to do? This is where we're going to end up having to get into the team up collection to start looking at those. So you got the Midnight Suns team up pack, basically $19.99, gets you 1,300 crystals, and then gets you some Midnight Sun collection tokens, some uniform XP chips, or you can buy this over here. So in order to see what these collection tokens are used for, we're going to have to jump over into the team up event. Notice that they also have ones for the Sinister 6 team up pack, and they also have ones for the X-Force team up pack. Notice those, okay? I'm gonna make sure that you're aware of these because you really do need to know. So, and I want to get a little bit more deep into this in another video, but there's gonna be some relevancy here. So essentially you can see down here, these upgrade paths for you is to basically get these tokens, and you need these tokens in order to level up each of the nodes inside of here. Now when you level up the nodes, those nodes give you collection options. So you can see here, like the collection option only applies to characters that are part of the theme. And as you go through these, you can see that as your collection option level increases, you're going to get these increase all basic attacks by 10 and increase all basic additional pierce by 1%. And this maxes out at level 18. And at level 18 for this uniform option, basically all of your Midnight Suns characters will get an increase all basic attack by 40% and an increase additional pierce damage by 10%. So if you have your comic cards and the comic cards are all completed out, kitted out with blue, rank up stars, then you're already getting a baseline 25% additional pierce damage there. And then this is gonna allow you to get 35% additional pierce damage on your characters. So the characters that are going to be part of these team ups are going to be very, very powerful at the start. So now if you look over here to the right, you can see that there are clear conditions in order for you to level up these events, right? So essentially inside of here, I've already unlocked the Rise of the Suns, the rough ones, and then you can see the next one up is Demon Hunters. So you see, it says they want you to reach rare level uniform on all of these uniforms in order to get them. So for instance, Dr. Voodoo is sitting over here. I've got to purchase this uniform at its crystal price, which I'm going to do right now anyways. I got to purchase that uniform at 1,050 crystals. So that way I can then say with those 1,050 crystals, I can then go about the task of leveling up Dr. Voodoo. I don't even think I have enough. Okay, I do. Yeah. So I can then go about the task of leveling him up so that way I can get his uniform to rare, right? This is where those uniform XP chips are going to come into play. And I can say, okay, well, Dr. Voodoo's in here. I've got him all the way up to rare now. So now that he's at rare, I can pop my ass back over to the team up collection and I can collect my additional 7 tokens that are needed inside here. So notice that to get that next level inside of here, the tokens, it wants me to use 15 of these tokens to get to the next collection level. You guys paying attention to this? Like, I hope to God you're paying attention to this. Now I want you to notice that the next option inside here is going to be you leveling up this character so that way you can get the characters need to be at their tier 2 level. So in order to get tier 2, that means I have to have man thing and stuff like that. So as each of these levels go, I'm going to get all the way up to 10 to unlock all of the applied effects, right? So for instance, when I go inside here and I say I want to go, I've got 3 options available to me. That's going to initially get me the physical defense or energy defense. So I'm going to go for energy defense inside here. And then I can max out that energy defense all the way up to level 10, I suppose it's going to be. I don't know why it's giving me just 9 right now. And so for 1,000,000 gold, I can basically do that and can say, here you go. I've got it all the way up here at level 10, and I can apply the option inside here. And there we go. So now I have a native 7.5% increase of energy defense to all of my Midnight Suns type characters. You can see here as you go, it's ignore dodge or the dodge rate increases. So you can automatically go to the max. It's a 5% dodge rate increase, or it's a 7.5% ignore targets dodge rate inside of here. I think the ignore targets dodge rate might be the better one. I'm not sure, I have to look at it. And then the options just basically continue and continue. But now I want you to go back and pay attention to the collection tokens. So that means as you go up, you're only going to be able to collect but so many tokens. I can't remember exactly what they were, but basically you can see at the first, second, and third level, I've collected 19 tokens. So now you can go over here and you can say that's an additional 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 20, 25. I have to come back and do the math, but I wasn't prepared to do that for this. And then that's basically comparing to you what your next upgrade success is going to be. And notice that there's a 100% upgrade success rate. Like is this going to change as I go up in levels? So let's take a look at that real quick, right? So I'm going to upgrade the this inside of here, and that essentially gets me my 1% inside there. Now I need an additional 9 tokens. The question is going to be whether or not there's enough tokens across these that are going to help me get all the way to level 18, or is this going to become a purchase option inside the shop that free-to-play players are going to basically take advantage, not be able to take advantage of, and get taken advantage of, and whether or not there's going to be decreased success rates as we go up. Like I said, individual video inside there, but that's essentially why they're putting that inside the shop. So your team up collection, that 40%, 10% is heavily monetized at this point. Heavily monetized. This is a whale and veteran level thing, and it's going to put off a lot of free-to-play players and dissuade a lot of players from playing, because if they have any remote enthusiasm about playing inside timeline battle, otherworld battle, alliance battle, they're going to be turned off from this because they're already operating way behind the power curve in just terms of characters leveled up, and now they're even further behind the power curve by people who have money and whales who have the ability to reach out and touch these things, because nobody wants to go back and purchase an old uniform that's useless to them. Nobody wants to do that. And even that you're basically weighing that 1,000 crystals that you're basically spending, that's going to prevent you to get that one uniform, is going to prevent you from maybe getting a tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 like character. And some of the tier 4 options as of late have not been that great. So that's just my opinion about it, right? Then we've got the special tier 4 super upgrade pack. The Transcendent pack, those have been in the game for quite some time. You know that this one has the superior second potential realization ticket inside there. So I can see a lot of players doing that to get the Doctor Strange going. The Man-Thing's regenerative chest is inside here. Now, I don't necessarily think that you need to purchase this, since you can just use your normal CTPs, and you can do that through the event shop and just get a CTP selector, so that way you can select some of the bios for like Man-Thing or Sister Grimm. So I don't know that there's enough value here for this. However, I will say that at the price point, if you are in need of crystals, the $330 to $299 price point, or the $10 to $1,100 crystal value, isn't a bad thing. For Man-Thing and Sister Grimm, I don't think so, but you know, it's there, and it's a way for you to basically get crystals if you need them, and it's not a bad way to spend your money, in my opinion. And then we got the Doctor Strange tier 3 upgrade pack, which includes the superior first potential realization ticket inside there, right? And then your normal standard items are still littered inside the shop. Now, something I have noticed over the course of this is that there's been a lot of pop-up items inside this goddamn shop. Like, I mean, like every single time I close out this window, like close out the game to another game mode or something like that, those items basically pop up, and they're just like, wow, there's a lot going on in there. So those are your special benefits purchases that's inside the shop. Those are your character deals. By the way, before I forget about it, Man-Thing is also available inside of the shop. For 1,500 crystals, you can purchase Man-Thing to get him automatically to tier 2. I don't think that there's a lot of value in purchasing Man-Thing at 1,500 crystals. I really just don't think so. But if you feel like, you know, being charitable to the game and doing that, then, you know, by all means, I'm not telling you not to. I don't see a whole lot of value inside that one. So I'd steer clear of that one if I were you. So those are the store items inside the shop. those are my feelings about it. The last one I'll close out on is the timeline survival, just because I want to make sure that you guys are aware of this. I don't think there's a lot of value in doing this, but it is a shop item that's available. I do like the timeline survival event. For 2,500 crystals, you basically, instead of just playing one board, you can play 2 boards. And you need to purchase this at the beginning of the timeline survival event, not during, not after, not like the day before it ends or anything. You need to purchase this at the beginning, because it includes the ability for you to get the daily max. Your temporal energy basically goes up, and some of your survival items, they're discounted inside the shop. So you're gonna need those, especially if you want to play 2 boards inside the game. Then this could be a good value for it. Now, where we start to fall off on the reason why I don't think that the survival kit upgrade path is a good thing is specifically because of the mission rewards. When we get inside the mission rewards section, what you're basically getting for completing it is going to be that box. That box includes 3-star rewards and 4-star rewards, so therefore it's not a good deal. So with 3 stars being available inside there, and your ability to more than likely end up with a 3-star instead of the 4 stars, I don't really see the benefit overall here. Like, I really wish they would change this to just having the 4-star artifacts inside of here. Because remember, like, 4-star is still like midway. Like, the 4-star isn't good like either, because you really want the 6-star or the 5-star effect inside there. So I really wish they would just remove the 3s out of here and just made the 4s available to you, especially with as many artifacts as that are available. To me, it would be a better event that, you know, you're going to end up with some 200 plus artifacts inside the game. The timeline survival would be a good way to just basically give players a chance at getting a 4-star type artifact inside there. So just be aware that this shop item is available there to you. So purchase it, don't purchase it. It's really up to you. I don't see the value inside purchasing the second board, especially with the option that I might end up with a 3-star artifact. And the last couple of times that we've had timeline survival in there, that's exactly what I ended up with, 3-star artifacts. So more than likely your chances are that you're going to end up with 3-star artifact. So that's my overall impression of the store items inside the game, and I hope that gives you enough information to work with, so that way you can wisely spend your cash. But remember, this is just advice. I'm not trying to dig in your pockets and tap them. You know, spend your money as you see fit. Until next time, peace.